We are joined in by geologist and scientist Mr. Ganesh Khanal. Well, sir, Sikkim is witnessing one of the worst natural disasters. Now, in an international science journal published in September 1, 2021, there was a report on South Lhonak Lake which had an outburst and which caused this devastation. Of course, it was triggered by cloudburst. So, you were a member of that research team. So, what was this study all about and what were the major findings?
Okay, sir. So this is a case of the South Lhonak Lake, wherein we started our study during 2013 when National Remote Sensing Center, Government of India, reported through their satellite data that there's a lake, uh, uh, the South Lhonak Lake, which has, tremendously increased its size, and the volume of water is, too much. So during 2014, we had a uh, expedition team to go to that lake. It comprised of various technical departments from Government of India and Government of Sikkim. We went to that lake and found that the lake really posed a threat in case of the situation like Glacial Lake Outburst Flood, which we call it a GLOF. So later on, during 2014, we appointed one Mr. Sonam Wangchuk from Ladakh as our consultant who had the experience of working in Putkal Lake in such type of lake in Ladakh area. So later on, with his advice and the decision of the team, the expedition team, the scientific team, we decided to make the siphoning action of the pipes to drain out the water in one small river is there known as the Goma River. So there uh, we started, we took some 8-inch dia SDP pipes, which are high density pipes, to that area through, in the yaks back and all that, because to reach that place from the last motor road it takes around 4 days to reach there. So we have to go, like that. So we installed around 6 pipe till 2017. Then later on, then we started the siphoning of the water. So everything was good, and the water was lessening up. So then after 2020, I was not there in the team because I left that organization afterwards. So uh, the thing was going well because the water was being drained through these pipes. But this time, initially, maybe due to, nobody has been able to reach as of now to that area. And then even because of the weather, no choppers or no survey, any type of aerial survey it's possible as of now. Today also it is raining little. So in North Sikkim, it is raining heavily, they say. So, but then it seems that the lake, the Moraine Dam, blocking that lake is breached, and the water might have come out. And the reason for the breaching of the lake may be avalanche in the that glacier, or maybe some people say about the cloudburst also, but I don't think in that type of altitude such cloudburst would occur, because it is a high altitude, and in that type of high altitude in 70,000 feet, there is not much of such cloudburst incidents. Is a snowfall or some precipitation only. So this time it has brisked. Now only after going through the ground survey, one will understand what actually has happened. But the amount of water it flowed down and damaged all the establishment along the river valley, along the Tista River, it seems that the lake has brisked.
Well, sir, you are saying that the initially red flag was raised by remote sensing agency. They saw that a huge amount of water has accumulated in that lake. Then you went ahead with the
Yes.
study which found the ground realities, and after that you
Yes.
carried out a process of siphoning out the water also from that lake, but it stopped later on. Why was it
Yeah.
so? Do you have any knowledge on it?
No, because after that I left the organization in 2020. But till then we again had formed a committee of the government to look at the other vulnerable lakes also, which comprised of the state government and the central government organization, technical departments. So the work might have been going on, and of late, because there was one expedition in September 2023 also, early September. So the team had gone there, but I don't know what their finding was. But then they were, trying to establish an early warning system there. So the early warning system could have in fact told relayed the message in time. But then the work was going on. But then nobody knew that such an early stage, such incident would have occurred.
So warning was issued way back in 2013, and there was a follow-up action also on it where siphoning of water was going on for that lake.
Yes.
Now, talking about the pro-glacial lake system or the glacial lakes in Sikkim, so there might be many more such water bombs ticking to explode any time.
Yes. So now again, the National Remote Sensing Center and the Central Water Commission, they have identified around 10 such glacial lakes. So for that, the state government has formed a committee for ground truthing of this, because those data is based on the satellite data. So satellite data is only not, sufficient to see the situation. So that now all these 10 vulnerable glacial lakes, whatever has been identified, now this needs to be visited upon and find a way. It has to be looked whether these really put a threat on such situations, and then now we'll have to decide upon what kind of mitigation measures we have to do it, because either by siphoning or by little breaching of the moraine dam of this thing. That also depends upon the amount of ice accumulated and so many other things, technical things. So now the work might be going on.
So you are saying 10 such potentially hazardous pro-glacial lake systems are there in Sikkim right now, which may
Yes.
explode any time. So what are the sizes of those lakes? Is it similar to the one that had a burst? And
No, this was the biggest. This was the biggest lake. Maybe it was around 213 hectare area. But then other lakes are also there which have a potential threat for having the situation of glacial lake outburst flood. But then those are little smaller than this lake. But then they also may occur. They may also have a devastating effect. So now it is high time that the team should go to visit these lakes and have the ground truthing. But again, in winter it is not possible to reach those areas. But then when the again from maybe next June to September is the working time in these areas. So these all lakes needs to be visited and studied, and then to be decided upon what kind of mitigation measures it needs. And again, disaster management plans and everything has to be prepared.
how challenging would it be?
It would be challenging, but then a composite team, quite young, scientists should visit there, because it is always on the high altitude. And then now the composite team has to decide and study and what kind of mitigation, because now ultimately we have to go for the mitigation measures and the disaster management plans. And again, we have to make the community educated, community and the stakeholders. If such kind of situation occur, what kind of preventive or the things we'll have to undertake.
Talking about the South Lhonak Lake, when the study was conducted, what was the methodology used and what that data were collected?
Okay, so till when I was there in the organization, in the Sikkim State Disaster Management Authority, so we installed those 6 number of pipes, 8-inch diameter, high density pipes, which were specially designed for that purpose in certain manufacturing company. And then later on we had meetings with the various stakeholders, the army, the paramilitary forces, the government organization located on those areas near the Tista River system in Chungthang, then other places down Singtam, Rangpo, and wherever this time the tragedy occurred. So we, did the awareness program. Then we did the community awareness also. So at least, in this situation also, because of the training and all that, they knew, in such, if when there was a warning, the police, and then they had made the warning. So they started running towards the uphill side so that, their life could be saved. Although they couldn't save their property and all that, but then at least the human lives were, saved. Otherwise, the more casualties would have occurred.
Well, sir, you said that there was sufficient amount of information available regarding the South Lhonak Lake. Warning was issued, but somehow it was initially followed up, but later on no action was taken. That's why it led to this catastrophe today.
Okay, but then because whole of the year you cannot go and work on those areas, and you cannot use the machinery because nobody can, take any kind of machines to that area, because the long 20 feet pipes also we did cut it into 8 feet each, and then put it on the yak's body and then took it like that and did the coupling and all that. So it's very good, and the working period is very less because it was identified in 2013, and then only from maybe June, July to till mid-September, because from mid-September again the snowfall starts in those areas. So the working period is very less. But now, since this has occurred, now we have to be very serious and then start seriously working on, such study these other vulnerable lakes. And now we will have to look at this South Lhonak Lake also, what has happened, because nobody has, after the incident, nobody has been able to reach there, because um, only the way you can view through the chopper or the satellite data. But because of the cloud, as of now, even the satellite data would not be, possible. And the choppers, they have not been able to, have a flight on those areas.
Basically speaking, about a layman, the findings of the report was that the glacier was melting fast and the volume of the lake was increasing, thus making it very much vulnerable for bursting. So is that
Yes.
the finding?
Yes, the size of the lake was, gradually increasing. Everybody knew it, and then because of that, we installed those 6 inch, a 6 number of 8 inch dia pipes to siphon out the water, and the water was, being, maintained. The water level was being maintained. So, but then maybe because of the avalanche, sudden avalanche, the thrust of the avalanche might have, broken that dam itself, the Moraine Dam, natural dam. So the incident might have occurred. It was a sudden, maybe.
Well, sir, lastly, the concern that you have raised right now is that there are 10 more such glacial lakes which are
9
potentially,
others, yeah.
9 other such glacial lakes which are potentially hazardous right now, which might explode anytime, leading to a similar catastrophe. So it is a high time to act on it.
Yes, it is very high time to act on it, and the technical team comprising of the state and technical departments and the central government organizations who has expertise in such study. Now they should, in the next season, coming season, they should visit those lakes, seriously work in it, and find out the vulnerability of those lakes, and work on the mitigation measures and the disaster management plans.
Thank you very much, sir, for speaking to Northeast Live. So that was
Thank you.
geologist and scientist Mr. Ganesh Khanal speaking exclusively to Northeast Live. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.